Okay, so now we're on a part 2. We're talking about language. So we're going to describe the first time you used a foreign language to communicate. That's quite a fun topic. I'm sure a lot of people have got a very strong memory about when this was. So it's quite a nice topic to be given in the IELTS. And if you look at it and you can't remember, it doesn't matter. Just lie. Pick a time where you spoke in a foreign language to someone and just make a story around it. It doesn't have to be true. So my first strongest memory is I went on a school trip to France and I was trying to order a baguette in a shop and the French guy didn't want to listen to 12-year-old Rachel try and use her bad French to order a baguette. So he just spoke to me in English. Was that the first time I used a foreign language? No, but that's a sort of strong memory I have. So it's going to be easy for me to talk about. So just pick a strong memory that you have. They want to say, who did you communicate with? What did you say? What was the situation? How did you feel? Okay, so a chance for some nice vocabulary here, some nice feeling words. And so looking for some sort of nice tenses. You're describing a past event. So we can say, I went to the baguette shop to order a baguette. Okay, past tense simple. We can use another tense. I had been learning French for 6 months at that point. Changing up our tense again. I was looking at the baguettes when the man said, what do you want in French? Okay, so it's a good chance to use some different tenses and really show your grammatical range here. So let's take a look and see what this candidate has said.
Okay, the first time I used foreign language to communicate with foreigners was almost about 20 years ago. I was in high school and I was going to Jeju Island, so I was at the airport and then I dropped my wallet somehow. And when I dropped my wallet, there was one foreign guy standing next by me. He asked if it was his wallet, and then I said, no, it's mine. And then he tried to argue with me about the wallet, even though it was mine. And I couldn't fight back because I couldn't speak anything at all. I knew what to say. I knew how to listen. But the thing is, it was really hard for me to speak out the language. So my friend helped me to get out of that situation. And luckily I got my wallet back. I mean, that guy was trying to take my wallet, obviously. But the thing is, I was too embarrassed and then I couldn't fight for myself. Now I can do it. That was pretty embarrassing moment of my life. Because I couldn't even speak any word to him. I just said, no, this is mine. Maybe I couldn't even make the perfect sentence like this right now. Back then, I maybe said just no. Luckily, I improved my English skill a lot better than before. And I wish I can improve more than this now. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so a nice answer, like a fun story. They've chosen something that they have a strong memory about happening. And so they're able to talk about it with some confidence and some fluency. So in terms of fluency, I thought it was good. The story kept moving. They added new information. She didn't get confused, go back, repeat the same information. She was like, this is the start of the story. This is the end of the story. This is how I felt. This is the end. So it had a nice pace to it. So one issue some candidates have is that they backtrack and repeat bits of the story. But she kept it moving. She told it in a very coherent, understandable way, which was good. I liked some of her transitions. So she used things like word luckily. My friend was there to help me out or things like that. So I thought that was a sort of nice transition to sort of keep the story moving nicely. In terms of pronunciation, very strong. There was a nice sort of elision when she sort of talked about he was trying to take my wallet. Okay, which is a nice elision of he was trying to take, and then in English naturally we say he was trying to take my wallet. I was trying to go to the beach, but it was raining. I was trying to concentrate, but I couldn't. Okay. Trying, okay, is quite a nice pronunciation feature. So that's a sort of, I appreciated how she said that. In terms of vocabulary, I thought her vocabulary was pretty standard. There was no sort of vocabulary or phrases that sort of stuck out to me or made me think like, wow, like what a great vocabulary. They're sort of looking for you to use idiomatic phrases, sort of those things like, just by chance I was at the airport, or I was having one of those days. So that's a nice way. So if you think I was having one of those days, just meaning like a day where everything goes wrong, or something like that. So they're looking for you to use some kind of more sophisticated. I thought her vocabulary was fine. It was what we would call adequate for what she wanted to do, but there was nothing in it, no phrases or words that made me think like, wow, so sophisticated. But very understandable, very accurate. Grammar was pretty good. There was only two key things I wanted to pick up on. She talked about the guy, she said, standing next by me. So she talks about this guy who was standing next by me. It should be next to me. Okay, we never say next by me, next to me. The other thing I'd like to point out is that she says at that time, I couldn't speak anything at all. So as we know, it shouldn't really be, I couldn't speak anything at all. I couldn't say anything at all. I couldn't say anything, okay, not speak. Okay, so overall, it was a very solid answer, like an enjoyable story. I can't believe a man tried to steal your wallet. So it was a good story, well told, solid vocabulary. Let's see what she does for part 3. So now we're looking at, do many people in your country learn a foreign language? They want to talk about the amount of people. This would be a nice chance to do comparison over time. Like in the past, not many people learned a foreign language, but now it's compulsory. Or the number of people learning a foreign language in my country has been growing. Okay. Chances to use different types of tenses to show me your grammar range. And then what age do you think it is better for a person to begin learning a new language? This is a very controversial debate topic in ESL teaching. I personally believe that you can learn a language at any age. I'm not a big believer you have to learn it when you're young. I mean, it's more convenient to learn it when you're young, but I don't think older people, have a much harder time of it. Older people are just more busy. Do you know what I mean? Like a kid has got time to learn a language. I think older people are just a little bit more busy. So let's see what this candidate has to say.
I want to learn French and Spanish because apart from English, those are the most popular language in the world. So wherever I travel, I can use English, French, and Spanish. And also I heard that just because it's from the all same root, Latin, it is easier for me to understand and learn the new languages in European languages if I know English well. So I actually tried to learn Spanish when I was in college. But the thing is, I only took the class for 3 months, and then it was kind of short to learn new language. So by the time I was able to speak a little bit of a small talk and some basic stuff, but now I forgot everything. And I really have to study from the beginning, like from the start, from like And French, I've never tried to learn before, but I just met some French people recently, and then when they are speaking in French, oh my god, they sound so elegant somehow, and I love it. Of course, I know I cannot make that exact sound that native speakers make, but still, I think it would be really nice to learn another language which is really popular worldwide. It has a lot of intonation, and also there's female words male words, so that you have to use like some verbs in a different way. I cannot really explain because I have no idea about the French, but I think it's pretty much the same or with like Italian, Spanish, right? Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so clearly she was answering two different questions. And I wonder if you were listening to that, if you were able to guess what question you think she was answering. That's a very good skill that you should be able to practice in your English. It's a good thing to practice. A lot of people practice listening to the question and giving an answer, but have you ever tried listening to the answer and then guessing what question you think they're answering? So she was clearly answering, what other language do you want to learn and what do you think would be difficult to learn about it, or something like that. So we'll ignore these two questions and we'll talk about the questions she did answer. In terms of fluency, again, good in terms of keeping moving, giving me new information, not hesitating too much, expanding on her answers to tell me new things. She had some good intonation. So I really like the part where she sort of says, "Oh my God, French people sound so elegant." So she was able to show me intonation by putting stress on the so elegant. Okay. And when I say intonation, I mean like, how do we show intonation and stress? Okay. In her case, she made the vowel sound longer. She made the O sound longer. They sound so elegant. Okay. That's how I show intonation. Okay. And that's how I show variation in my tone. So that was nice that she tried to do that there. Her pronunciation was very good, very clear. I don't have a lot of comments to make about her pronunciation. It was pretty solid all the way through. Her vocabulary, it was good. She used the phrase small talk, about learning small talk. So that's quite a nice natural phrase to use to sort of talk about those basic introduction things you can do. And yeah, I thought that was pretty good. In grammar, the sort of one kind of error I picked up on, well, she didn't pluralize. So she said French and Spanish, they are the most popular language. Okay, but she didn't pluralize it. You say are the most popular languages to learn or to speak. I did like how she said, she used a nice sort of tense. She said, "I've never tried to learn before." Okay, so I have never tried is sort of nice, showing me some tense. But to be honest, overall, she could have showed me a much stronger variety of tenses. She tended to stick very much to sort of past simple, or present simple. And I wanted her to be more confident using a variety of tenses. Now, this is something that's specific to IELTS, not necessarily something native speakers think about. I never think about, I better use a past, present, continuous, or whatever kind of tense I want to use. But it's something you do need to practice specifically for the IELTS, because I can't give you points for knowing about present continuous tense if you don't show it me when you speak. So one thing I would encourage her to practice is using a much greater variety of tenses. She sounds quite natural when she speaks. She uses some nice filler, like, "Oh, that's all," or "I've never tried," or "Oh my God." So clearly she has some good native speaking tendencies, but she needs to work on showing me her extended grammar knowledge in her answers, and that's something you can practice. So in terms of scoring, in terms of pronunciation, I thought pretty good. I would want to give a 6.5 for pronunciation. In terms of vocabulary, again, quite a solid vocabulary, nothing like amazing or overwhelming. So 6.0, adequate for the task. Not sort of trying to use too much high-level vocabulary, so I'd want her to see her improve this. In terms of grammar range and accuracy, I mean, her grammar is pretty accurate, so I would give a 6.5, and then to improve, to get out of this 6.5 zone, she needs to show me more range, especially in terms of tenses. Fluency and coherence, I thought was great, sort of coherent, very fluent answers. Again, I'd want to give a 6.5, so she's coming out at a strong overall 6.5 for speaking. Which I think is a really good, really strong answer. So I would definitely say that she needs to look at her vocabulary, and then also showing me more tense range. Those are two things you can work on now that are going to help improve your score.